the
Alright, we're good.
once again, the trend of us never starting an FPS in a normal fucking way continues. Good lord.
Best cold
Hi,
open.
folks. Toonkind at 12 frames per second. I am Authenticity. Today I'll be playing the TikTok Chicken. I'm joined by my beloved friend.
Hi, I'm Babel. I play Bobby Grandma Juniper. I may or may not have hit streaming, start streaming instead of start recording before at the beginning of this. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Having a normal one as we do.
Having a normal one. So this is taking place in between episodes 1 and 2 of The Case of the Missing Television. So if you haven't listened, maybe go listen to episode 1 at least. This has been recorded after episode 2, which had some developments for these two. So if you like, you can also go listen to that. But in the meantime, I think that the camera pans down to it'll pickup truck cruising along, full of mostly asleep tunes, with a couple exceptions.
If I remember,
Juniper.
we have
Say again?
Daffodil. If I remember, we have Daffodil, who's probably asleep somewhere. And then we have 2 children.
Yeah,
that should be asleep.
Because neither Jade nor Fletch are here, we're going to say that if they're not asleep, they're doing an admirable job of pretending.
Yes.
But the olds are not asleep. Juniper is driving. TSC is not driving, as they are chicken. They cross the road. They don't go along it, but yeah, I think that there's a soft little like flutter of feathers as TUC climbs into the front seat and puts the seatbelt on.
Juniper is not entirely talking at the current. Not because she's upset or anything. Well, I mean, she is upset, but she's not upset at anybody in the car. She's just... This situation, this entire ordeal has certainly been... And... She may have done something extremely stupid that she immediately regretted. To an extent. But she also is just like, oh, fuck, I did it.
It's like, well, we have driven through the Rubicon.
Yep. And so she's kind of just staring up the fucking the bitch, the fucking
road?
front window. Yes.
The windshield.
Yes. The windshield, and is focused on the road, and just she just driving, man. I don't know how long she's been driving, but she's been driving a while.
Yeah.
Might
I think that
stop.
I think that eventually TC sort of reaches over and taps her wrist. They don't want to sign and distract her, but also.
I'm gonna roll perception for Puppy, because Puppy is so tired and so focused on this road. Juniper, my beloved. That's a 10. That's a 10. I'm gonna say that, yeah, she takes her a minute to notice that somebody tapped her on the arm. But eventually she does, and she doesn't even, like, look away from the road. She just kind of, you can feel the car, or the pickup truck, just pulling over to the side and then stopping.
Mm.
And then once she does, she takes the keys out after turning the pickup truck off, and just kind of yawns and looks over at who the culprit is. Also, I must note, her yawn big, show off many teeth.
Mm. I think TUC gestures for her to get out of the car or the truck. They they actually they hop out themselves, and tap 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 over to her side, and you hear jumping noises before they finally manage to catch hold of the handle. And they open the door to the cab with not the most grace that you've ever seen them open doors with, but
Juniper was kind of awkward about getting out, but then she was starting to reach into the back because she's like, yeah, okay, we're probably gonna have a conversation. Reaching into the back to grab her rollator, because she knows how it is when driving for long distances. Old lady, she achy.
mm,
It's okay though. She has a rollator, and she's pulling that out, and she turns, and the door's open, and she's looking around for Chicken, and is very confused and concerned. Like, what? Hold on.
you just spot them through the window, awkwardly hanging on to the door handle like a Christmas ornament. You get the idea that oh, sorry. You get the idea that it was supposed to be almost a chauffeur mood, yes, step this way, please. Unfortunately, they are very small.
There's a slight laugh, and she wheels herself kind of over, and just picks up TOC and places them on the seat of her rollator, and just closes the door gently, not to wake the kids or Daffodil. It is okay, well, I mean, that's one way to flirt.
Flirting? TC doesn't know what you're talking about. Anyways, I think that they stay there in their little potato shape for a second, and then they hop off and they run ahead of her a little ways away from the road, and they pull out of their hammer space a very large blanket, and sort of secured in the grass, and they pull out some pillows to sit on because olds. Um, and they seem to be just making you a little chill out zone where you can like not be in a sitting position for a while.
Yeah, she gonna take that. She's tired.
Mm.
Gonna roll herself over, ease herself down, and just kind of flop onto her back, stare up at what I'm assuming is probably the stars.
Yeah. They fuss for a few seconds before they just come and flop next to her with a in spite of everything that's happened today, a very contented sigh.
She is getting a nose. Or, fuck.
I pat you. It's been a bit.
They are getting a nose, a puppy nose, directly into their fluff. And then a big puppy kiss. Because Juniper is dumb.
TUC hides underneath their wing.
What?
Nice night. They sign. Lots of stars. They did a good job on this one. A plus.
Juniper is just laughing. Her tail is wagging.
I think they sigh. And they look down the road in the way that they're going as if they can see the ocean and see the cruise and see, what awaits them. And then they look back at her and I think they go, what name would you like?
What do you mean?
June or Juniper? Which one's better?
There's a kind of slightly terrified and then I don't know how to describe it, but
I mean, if it
sort of.
helps, it's. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
If they saw her looking alarmed, they'd reach for her and pull her close. Just like, no, don't. It's okay. You're safe now. You're safe right now.
She does kind of like curl up a bit around them. Not a lot, but it is a lot. This whole thing is a lot. Going back to Salt Pier at any point is a lot. um, and even just thinking about her name, it's a lot. And like you can see that written on her face, just like thinking about it. And it's not something that she doesn't know the answer to. She knows pretty well what she wants to go with. It's just...
Bubble?
Hi.
Oh no. There you are. Hi. You went silent. The last thing I heard was it wasn't that she doesn't something.
Ah, sorry about that. Audio, please. It's not that she doesn't know what she wants to go with. She knows pretty damn well what she wants to go with. It's just, how to describe? Um, the whole thing is just a lot, and it's convoluted and it's complicated, and it's hard. Knowing the lore, if any of you guys do, this isn't necessarily just like a matter of changing names because you wanted to. It's a matter of she changed her name because she's supposed to be hiding.
I think if she's quiet long enough, they they preen the fur on her nose a little bit, and they sign, "Someone hurt you terribly, didn't they?"
The look that you get, TOC, is one of like a guilty puppy, pretty much. Of like, yeah, you figured it out.
I think they sign. They go to sign her name, but they falter, and instead they sign, "My friend.
And, for
I
those
would
of
die to keep you safe, and I would live to keep you happy. But
I mean,
I
I would
can't.
rather you not die to keep me safe. I like you being alive.
I've gotten kind of used to it. But I can't fight for you and with you if I don't know what I'm fighting. I can't punch secrets."
I don't want you to fight this one. You might at some point because she is just like that. But don't want you to fight her because you will lose. Um, but we've gotten this far, so no more secrets. That's fair.
They take one of her hands, and they sort of kind of press it ceremonially to their forehead, and they say again, I would die to keep you safe. But I will live to make you happy.
Please don't die for me.
I'll live for you.
And this is the part where I perish because we discussed this.
Mm-hmm.
I die! The look on her face is just smitten puppy. Smitten puppy.
Yep. And they're looking at you like you are the stars in the sky. The axis that the world turns on.
I love them, Your Honor. Her muzzle
I think
is silver now, due to age, but this is what she looks like. I posted a picture in the thing, because she took off all of her fur dye before the road trip.
after a very long few seconds of like staring deep into each other's eyes, TFC like looks away and very flusteredly signs. I like it's your your fur is good. Good job on that one.
She's laughing. She doesn't say anything, but she's just thinking quietly to herself, like, you are terrible at flirting and I love you.
TOC, he's not flirting. They don't know what you're talking about. They're just like, conversation change. What else am I thinking about? How beautiful she looks. I can't say that.
God. I think, like, she is going to keep her thoughts on TOC to herself at the current.
On which?
On which she, every time she looks at TOC, she thinks about the deepest depths of the oceans, which she has seen before. And she has thought that it is the most beautiful void to get lost in.
God damn it. Well, it's been a few months since we did anything with these two, and they're coming in force.
We're getting there. We're bringing in the gay slowly.
You know, coolly, subtly.
At the moment, it's just pining. It's just mutual pining. And then in the next one, surprise, surprise. Yay.
Yep. Nobody saw this coming except everyone.
Except everyone.
It was the fucking 6-year-old who managed to poke them together. Anyways, I think eventually they shake that off and they just sort of sit quietly with her, waiting.
I don't. She gets a little sheepish at that because, like, she knows that they need to have this talk. It's just she doesn't know where to start, so she's thinking, and she mumbles, like, so, to answer your first question, I like Juniper a lot better than I like June.
Juniper. Okay.
I'm not sure I really like my last name. I certainly don't like my old last name for obvious reasons. Okay, maybe they're not obvious reasons. Maybe that's just the fact that I think it's obvious. Because literally anybody who knows that last name that has been here for a long time knows that, yeah, that family's fucked up.
Could TUC roll an insight or a history check?
Yes, they can.
17 minus 1 is a 16.
That's a 16. That does not quite make it. The DC is 18.
Fair enough.
Because the only person who actually does know that the family is fucked up is anybody who has either done their research really, really deep into it, or people that Juniper has previously spoken to, or people that even Mr. Moves has previously spoken to, so it's not actually as common as she thinks. Her dad was very good at covering things up. But I will at least give you that there is some fishy shit surrounded around that name.
I think they nod. Like, okay.
Particularly the more recent stuff surrounding the name involves ding 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 Jackie. And I gestured directly at warships.
Yeah, all that shit that TUC don't know about. I think that they, like, would they know something something Jackie Mobile something something?
They would, yeah.
It's like, I don't know anyone else with that last name, but in one of the letters I sent, I wonder if it'd be worth having you meet my my young friend Jackie, the little penguin that I told you about.
Why is that? Well, I mean, outside of just
They
the fact that child, and yes, I'm grandma, I will spoil.
they nod approvingly. Well, I'm told that they have some tie to the family now. I don't know if like it could be relatives of theirs. Maybe they're from a different branch.
There's not many branches. My dad is the one who, well, okay, my dad and my uncle were not the first. Okay, well, they're not the first nobles. There's my grandpa, but he's been in the plane of fire for a very long time. I hope he stays there.
TC was going to be like, oh no, and they're like, ah, okay, noted.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know where my uncle went, but my dad, as far as I know, is the only one that had kids, and he only had 2 biologically, and then there's my youngest brother, Um, um, James. And he's the only one out of the three of us that had kids. So there's really one branch of mobiles outside of, like, also my Uncle Jerry, who had a daughter that he adopted. And we'll get to that in a minute because that's relevant, unfortunately. I don't like it. I hate this. I don't like this. Why is this family so fucked up?
They nuzzle.
I don't know where my mom went when my little brother was two. Well, okay, I have two little brothers. I'm the oldest. But neither me nor my little brother Leon had kids, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if Leon has had children, but I don't think he has, because he doesn't seem like the type of person you would want to have children.
That doesn't always stop them.
No, I know it doesn't always stop them. I just met my youngest brother, James, who had a child and an egg before everything happened. Well, a child and an egg on the way. Their name was the first kid's name was Janet. I don't remember what it was that they were gonna name, that he was gonna name his second kid. But also, I never got to find out.
When we get back, maybe we can do some research. I'm sure it's written down somewhere.
Maybe. Oh, I should probably note that my youngest brother James is adopted as well. He's a little blue penguin.
Hey, Bavel?
Yeah.
What would the rule be to put 2 and 2 together to make 4?
Intelligence with advantage.
Intelligence with advantage. Thank you for the advantage.
Because you know pretty well that Jackie, with how small they are, is also a little blue penguin.
Ooh, that would be a natural 20.
Hey, TOC, 1 + 1 is 2.
Juniper? Juniper.
Huh?
Juniper.
What?
I know a little blue penguin with an affinity for the sea named Jackie.
I forgot to mention, yeah, my entire family is kind of sailors. That is kind of our thing.
James, Janet. Like, they kind of do prayer hands with their wings, like Juniper.
James, Janet, June. I'm pretty sure that
like
she's probably told you about her mom, Janelle, by this point.
I think I know what happened to the egg.
You just get a head tilt and confusion.
I am but a simple country chicken.
Yes, and
but
I love you.
I love you too. But, like, they start to go on, and then they're like, geez. And they shake it off because, wait, they're in conspiracy mode.
Conspiracy.
Jackie is adopted by what sounds like a very nice seagull lady, who is also a sailor. I don't know exactly what happens, what's happened, but there has been some bullshit that's been going on. So we have a small adopted sailor penguin with a complicated family situation who follows the naming structure of your family.
There's a look on her face for a moment as she kind of like bites her lower lip thinking about it. And she thinks about it and she knows. She knows the water spirit lore. And given the fact that she doesn't know everything, barely knows anything about what happened after, she was nearly murdered. But she knows her dad and how her family more than likely responded to everything and knows what certain things could have happened. And she did read the newspapers. She knows about warships to an extent. She doesn't know everything. She knows that her ships have been killed. She knows her dad is not dead. Which is a terrifying concept. She knows certain things. And she knows that there was two small children involved, and that doesn't bring her comfort. But I do gesture at the fact that Jackie did not allow for photos.
NTFC wouldn't have any photos of Jackie. Like that were sent in letters.
Yeah, no. Jackie does not really do photos. And
understandable. I also did when I was 7.
And Juniper also doesn't really do a lot of photos anymore. But they both have similar reasons for not doing photos, but like different context. Also, Jackie is just, like you said, Jackie is a child. Jackie does not like photos. Just, no, fuck you. But she does know some things. She knows from experience how her family operates. She can probably put a few things together just by that context, but there is one thing that is very important that would narrow down whether or not this is true. And that is whether or not Jackie is half water spirit. And, she looks over at TOC and she asks, "Do you know what a water spirit is?"
Yes. That is a second nat 20. This chicken is the smartest they have ever been.
Information on water spirits are extremely hard to find, because that is also on heavy lockdown for reasons I gesture at the mobiles. But anyways, there is a way to get to that information. We can discuss that later on how they got it. Don't worry about it.
I also have ideas.
I would love to hear them after all of this. Hell yeah. We go on?
But yeah, they nod. Like, Yes, actually. Yeah, they don't know a super whole lot, but yeah.
Okay. Um, is this small penguin child half water spirit? It would
I
be
think
pretty
so.
obvious.
I think yeah, it's at one point when we were messing around, they pretended to drown despite the fact that they are a penguin, but they yeah, they gesture. Very small child in the water.
She's very confused. That doesn't exactly answer her question. Because penguins will just
Like
do that.
TOC, I don't think knows a lot about penguins. Um
um, she
but they
she
nod
gets a
like
little
they're
bit more.
secure in their answer.
She gets a little bit more specific so that she understands, and she asks like, um, hmm, what color of blue are they, and are they a solid blue?
Oh, well, it depends on what they're feeling.
Okay. Um, does their
They turn different.
face have
Hmm?
any defining features at all? Like, do they have a clearly defined beak or even eyes?
Well, no, but isn't that normal for penguins?
No.
Okay.
Those are. So, water spirits don't really have a clearly defined face, and they don't usually have eyes.
Okay. Okay.
Um, hmm. That could be many different spirits. And she already knows the answer, but she's still gotta make perfectly certain. She's trying to not believe it because, oh god, what does that even mean? But also at the same time, she believes TOC because why would TOC lie to her? And so
Mm.
she looks around a little bit and then just kind of like mumbles, do they have a weird sort of connection to the water, like water magic?
TAC thinks back to um it thinks back to that night sitting up with them as they stared out into the ocean to calm themselves after a nightmare. And they nod.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what that means. Um, you said that they were a child. If they're my relative, they should be in their late 20s, 30s by now.
I mean, they could be the child of the child. But they sort of gesture at themselves like time is weird. By chicken standards, I should be dead 5 times over.
I. Hmm.
It's weird, I know.
It's weird, but it has connotations in the water spirit. Um, sense, and I know those connotations, and I know the consequences of those, and they're not good. um, we can probably discuss that later, because God. Ah. Because the less water spirit, what you're describing sounds like a perfectly half and half water spirit penguin, and that wouldn't be the case if there was a third generation or a second generation water spirit, unless the parent of that person was also a water spirit, like a full water spirit.
TUC is just sort of quietly letting her talk this out.
And the only way for the youngest of my brothers to still be a child is if the other parent, the water spirit parent, is dead, and that would mean that James doesn't love them, because without love, a water spirit, without parental love, water spirits don't, like half water spirits, they don't age if there isn't parental love.
TUC looks very sad. Juniper, I don't think that your littlest brother is around anymore.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm sorry.
It's not that I don't care about the fact that my little brother is gone. I'm just used to this. I didn't expect to live to be in my 70s. I didn't expect to live to be in my 30s.
Your father wasn't a very good man, was he?
No.
He's not going to get you again. You know that, right? You're never going to have to live through the days that you've left behind again.
I hope not. And I would say that I'm trying to keep from going back, but I did just give out my name. That's tied to all of that. But I also don't regret it. I'm gonna get in trouble with Goldie, but I'll deal with that when we cross that bridge.
She'll understand. It was for family.
It was for good family. Speaking of good family, there really isn't a lot of it in the Mobile family. My brothers weren't the best, but I love them, and I know that they can be better if they tried. Well, I know that my little brother Leon can be better if he tried. If he's still alive, I don't know. He was my dad's favorite, so he probably is, but he's also probably an asshole.
So if I see anyone that looks like you but less charming, kick them in the balls. Got it.
Yeah. Pretty much. And then there's my two uncles. My Uncle North. I don't know where he went. He was pretty chill. He was more of a dad to me than, like, my actual dad, but my dad is also an asshole and fucked him up real bad before he left. And he left me with a little squid plushie because I was there when it happened. And then he left. My mom's not the greatest either. I wish she had had the balls to take us with her when she left.
Are you sure that she did leave?
I watched her walk out the door. I begged her to stay. She didn't. I can understand why. I also watched them fight a lot. And they weren't your normal fights. They weren't just shouting matches. They were worse than that. So I can't really be mad at her for leaving, but I wish she had taken us with her.
You can be mad at her. I think it's wonderful that you have it in you to remember her with kindness. Remember why she did what she did. But you can be as mad as you need to be.
She's not ignoring that, but she is just going to continue after a pause and just letting that sink in for a minute.
Mm.
And we're gonna move on to her other uncle, who was related by her mother, because her first uncle was related by her father. North End, who you now know is Dylan Mobile, they were twins.
Mm.
But her mom had an older brother named Gerald Lewis Moody. And you can roll a history on that if you like. And
Sure. 11.
It's not that hard to find. He is a very well-known old tap dancer and performer in theater.
Mm.
And he was also a big advocate against domestic violence and abuse. He's also, however, unfortunately, been dead for around 23 years.
I think they just nod and they go, I've heard of that one. I'm sorry that I won't get a chance to meet them.
Considering this happened after everything with Toon, I am wait, no, she would know. Never mind. She would know. She just kind of shrugs. It happens. He wasn't. He tried to be happy, but he wasn't. And I can't blame him. I mean, I. She just kind of gestures forward, as if gesturing, like, clearly to her family. When you're related to this, it is very hard to find anything to be fucking happy about because it's all just pain all the time.
Mm.
And I would be pretty upset too if both of the people that I raised were pieces of shit. My Uncle Jerry raised my mom on his own. From what my mom told me. And, he's Marilyn's dad. Yeah, he's Marilyn's dad, my cousin.
Does TFC know the name Marilyn yet?
I would assume so, because I'm pretty sure that Set on Fire happened shortly before this, which Marilyn, Juniper does not know about Set on Fire yet.
Oh boy.
But I'm assuming that
Jesus.
TOC knows.
I haven't listened to Set on Fire yet. I'm so sorry, Bevel.
You're good, but Marilyn was the main villain in that, and, like, I gesture at Philippe. That conversation more than likely could have happened before this.
I mean, I think that, okay. I do prayer hands because I know that they don't have Philippe's kiddos yet. Man, I wiggle. Sorry, I'm trying to consolidate timeline bullshit.
Yeah. Something that TOC would know is that Jackie has mentioned Marilyn before and has mentioned that she makes them very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's. I think at the very least they do a stressed Kermit face and they're just like, I'm going to have to kill someone, aren't I? I'm going to have to kill this bitch. Or if not me, then someone.
Please leave that to someone else. You will lose. She's the reason why I'm here. And I don't mean like here as in like right here, right now. I mean like
she did something to change the course of your life.
she nods. Long story short, she's a very deceiving person. And when I got pregnant with my ex-husband's kid after dumping him for cheating, I wanted to look on the bright side. And of course, I told my Uncle Jerry and my best friend Moves first, because I called DJ Moves at like 3 in the morning because I was so excited. I was supposed to see him after I saw Marilyn later that day.
She was your friend.
She was my friend, she was my cousin. Her and I went down to the hidden lake of memories. We were supposed to go swimming for a little bit, have a lunch. And I was gonna give her the news because I was excited. You know, I wanted a kid of my own for so long. And this admittedly was my last chance because I was getting older. And well, I also didn't have a partner anymore because piece of shit. Go figure.
TUC tries to suppress a scoff and doesn't quite make it. But like it's the implication being like who in their right minds would be stupid enough to cheat on you about like first of all don't cheat, but like if you're lucky enough to have uh they gesture that like this person as your partner, why would you ever cheat? Like what the fuck?
Juniper looks at them and it's just like, we've had an open relationship as well. All I ask is that I know about the other partner and we talk about it and agree.
They not like yeah that seems normal, like that seems like a good I like yeah. It's like who how do you fuck up that badly?
She doesn't know, but he did, and he immediately paid for it. She may or may not have burned their house down.
Hell yeah.
Like, nobody was inside of it, but damn if everything inside of it that was supposed to be his and hers is now just rubble somewhere in the middle of the forest near Saltpier. Like, oh, you want part of the life that we built together? No. Fuck you. Neither of us get it.
TUC like preens her for like yeah that's my girl. Yes, arson.
Arson.
Emotionally healing arson.
It was very satisfying to burn the house down.
But you were meeting with her, and
Well, like I said, I
she
don't have any children. And we went to a lake, and I don't like water.
they preen her fur. They're not going to make her say it. They sigh gently. And you're sure I can't be her up for you.
I would rather you didn't. I don't want to know
I'll
what
do my
she would do
best.
to you.
I'm always going to come home to you. Don't worry about that. You and I have earned our happy ending. I won't put it at stake for anything.
There are tears in her eyes, and her mouth kind of disappears. And she's crying now, and she's just gonna like curl up and hug TOC.
Mm.
It's a hard thing to be honest about, and it's a hard thing to believe after everything. But she's gonna choose to.
Mm. They just hold her, and they wonder in the back of their mind why they promised to come back to her and not that they would never leave in the first place. But that's something for another day.
I lay here. I lay here and I went. Is there anything else that you wanted to do in this particular FPS? Or do you want to end it with
um,
like bittersweet softs?
Bittersweet soft seems good.
I hold them so gentle.
Man,
Your Honor is gay, and they're so good. They deserve this.
they do. They deserve it so much. Like, just fuck. It is 10 in the goddamn morning, and I am full of chicken emotions.
I'm full of Bubby.
Alright, I am going to stop recording on my end. Thank y'all for listening, folks.
Same here. Thank you guys. I hold that
Bye.
puppy. Bye.